squid family. You're probably wondering why I'm holding this drain pipe. Well, we're going to make a chicken feeder, because the chicken feeder we have got now, just a normal one you can buy, when it rains it gets soggy, it gets wet, kick the mud in it and everything, so hopefully this will solve our problems. Keep watching.
What she said.
So a few things that you might need for a chicken feeder. I've got a glue gun, a small hacksaw, a file and another hacksaw. So you might also need some epoxy, some gaffer tape, and obviously you're going to need some glue sticks for your glue gun. Before we're going to make the real thing, we made a prototype. This is it, out of old piece of cardboard tubing. So we're going to do, it's going to be a 90-degree angle. This isn't quite right, but this is what best we could work with. The food will go in here, and then we've got a little window, and the chickens then will be able, the food will go in there, and the chickens then can have their lunch. And hopefully with this, it's going to have a little, it's going to have a hood over the top to stop rainwater getting in, so that will hopefully stop the clumping of the food that we're getting at the minute, and ends on.
We cut this at a 45-degree angle. When we put two 40-degree angles together, we make a 90-degree angle. What we have to do now is fill all of these jagged bits.
Perfect.
Can you hold it for me, please?
Yeah, in a sec. Hang on.
Next we need to mix some 2-part epoxy. 2-part epoxy is a very strong adhesive.
So now we need to epoxy the two sides together, just on the rim of each one. Okay, so what we've done, we've used the epoxy and we've put it on the edges like we've said, lined it all up, and just put gaffer tape over it just to keep it all in until it's stuck nice and tight in alignment.
Okay, so if you're following along, you'll have noticed a warning coming up saying do not use the epoxy now. The reason is we made a mistake because of everything going on and we had to go out. That's why the lighting's changed. It's now night time. We forgot we had to cut the bit out first. So instead of gluing first, cut the notches out I'm about to do now. Fingers crossed it doesn't break the break what we've stuck. If it does, we just have to re-glue it. So I'll go and cut the notches out now. Okay, so I'm going to cut out a rectangle along here. I did try and mark it off, but you can't see it. I've got nothing that will mark it. So I'm going to do it freehand, and all I need to do is just cut out a rectangle quite close to this edge and as far as I need. Now, say if you're doing your feeder for 20 animals, then you'd need to have this one but sloping down gradually, and then you could make the sizes of the openings as big or small as you want. For this, I'm going to use my Dremel cutting disc. It's not ideal, but obviously trying to use a hacksaw on this now will be more likely to break the bond. So we're just going to do it this way. There we go. We'll see if that's going to be big enough, or we can make it bigger. I think that'll be big enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to now file down the edges. There we go, no hard bits, no scratchy bits. Okay, now we've got to make an end cap that will stay on all the time, and then a removable one for the top.
Right, we have our drain pipe, and we have the hole in it where the chickens are going to get their munch from. These are just from old tubs that we've saved. It's always handy to keep things that you would normally chuck away, especially if they're plastic. They're waterproof. It's really handy. So what we're going to do is this bit here is going to, I don't know if you can see, it's firework night, so you can hear the bangs outside. So we're just going to attach it to there, but James is going to cut round. James is going to have to cut it because I haven't got a very steady hand. This one's going to stay on, and this one is going to be the one that's removable for the food to go down. So I'm going to get out of the way, and James is going to start cutting.
Okay, so as you saw, this recess bit fits perfectly on. So what I want to do is I want to cut round just at the other side of the recess, so just at this side. So I'm going to turn it over, get a sharp knife, and just do it by hand. Now keep your fingers out of the way, for God's sake. Another thing I didn't mention, make sure you're using a cutting board or on a surface that it doesn't matter if you make deep gouges. My mum was forever going on at me about cutting into things by mistake or setting out to my windowsill, but that's a story for another day. There we go. It's cut out. It's not, not amazing, but that will work. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same as that we used to stick here. We're going to just get a blob of epoxy all the way around the outside and glue that on. Okay, while that's drying, we wanted something that would cover the little gap where they can eat from rain. You know, just a little shelter. And what we found was this cheap mud guard from the pound shop. We got lots of them, you know, you have dollar stores, that kind of thing. And we were going to cut up an old milk bottle and make it so that it had sort of wings on the side, just to give it a bit more safety from the rain. But looking around the kitchen, we actually found an old mat that I've cut up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to epoxy this to the mat, and so it will be bent down, sort of like a little roof. So that'll be my next job. Basically anything that you can find that's plastic and, you know, to make a roof. You don't need a mud guard, but it was just a simple shape that we could build on, and it was cheap, so we thought, try it. So I'm going to work out how to stick this on, and that's my next job. Okay, so it's the next day, and we left this to dry overnight, so we will remove this carefully. Let me get that one at the back.
No fingers on it.
Oh. Careful now. Okay, there we go, perfect. Okay, so there we go, it's got a nice little end on it, and that's where they'll get the food. Now, what we did as well, which we didn't film because it went all wrong, was we made a little shelf out of a mud guard. We got this mud guard from the 99p store, which I'd mentioned previously, and we'd originally tried epoxying it, and it went all wrong completely. So we ended up just putting a couple of nuts and bolts in it. And what we'll do now, well, when we get it outside, is we will, if you can hold it down at the bottom for me a sec, we will put this on the top like that, just so it covers the area with the food in it.
It'll stop rainwater.
Yeah, just stop the rain getting in. But we're going to put that on when we've got it outside, because we want to see where, because there's a fence and various other bits, we need to make sure we can get it on properly. We may end up having to move this and change its shape slightly, but we'll see. Okay, let's get out and put it outside. One thing I forgot to mention was we're going to use a cup as the lid, right at the top here, and it's going to go on like that. It holds on, it sticks there through friction quite well. It means no rain will get in, and we might even use it as a scoop for the food. I'm not entirely sure yet. So that was just a handy bit of a coincidence, really.